Hello, everybody. My name is Jim Lipuma. I am a 37-year sales go-to-market leader. Spent the last 32 of those years leading leaders, and in the past 18 years in CRO, SVP level roles. I've led teams focused on small businesses, mid-markets, enterprise level, startup, scale, turnaround, Fortune 500 environments. So I've been through a bunch over these last many years. I'm also the author of a couple of books, but I'm going to talk specifically about this one, Lead from the Front, 101 Leadership Quips, Quotes, and Anecdotes that will impact your career and your life. And I'm happy to say that it's in the process of becoming a national bestseller. So I like to read the way that I wrote this book, which is in very short bursts and not a lengthy novel. This is filled with many successes and failures, and I felt compelled to help the next generation of leaders sidestep the challenges that I faced and reach productivity much more quickly. So I hope you like that. My commitment is to share all 101 of these stories in very short 1 to 3 minute videos. Now this one's a little longer because I'm doing some introductions, but I'm going to do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you do the math, it's nearly a year of short videos. So I hope you find this series enjoyable, but most importantly, I hope you find it of value. So the number one of the 101 tips here is the title of the book, Lead from the Front. So when I wrote this, I was really thinking back about the leaders in history, those that we're all very familiar with. I can't help but think about the courage it took for them to stand strong when faced with massive adversity and challenge. I think about Abraham Lincoln and his willingness to stand out front and stand up for something that he believed in so strongly when the opposition was powerful against him. I think about Martin Luther King leading a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, knowing what he would be facing when he reached the other side, yet he stood front and center, arms locked, and led a group of people across there for something he believed strongly in. Great leaders put themselves out in front and in the direct line of fire when lesser leaders would just retreat. It's in this position that their followers witness conviction, where leaders gain followership, and followership is such an important principle in leadership. Great leaders have a voice and they use it even when they may be standing alone. One of my favorite movies is Braveheart. It's a story of William Wallace. He was a 13th century Scottish warrior who led the Scots in their fight for independence from England. And I'm quite certain it was embellished and they took some liberties in there, but I can't help but focus on the visual of every battle with him in the very front, riling up his troops and then taking to the battlefield as the lead of that whole group, facing death head on. He made his presence was felt, and he wasn't hard to find because he was right up front and center. And that is leadership, and that is why he had thousands of people who followed and revered him, who were willing to die for him. And he was willing to die for the mission that he believed so strongly in. Now that's an extreme example, I know, but in its purest form, that is leadership. It's also a reminder that people follow those who stand with commitment, conviction, consistency, and honor. And in business, we as leaders must embrace the mission, vision, and values of our organization. Leaders must also realize the importance of their standing and that everything they do is watched closely and will be mirrored and amplified by their people. As leaders, we must also recognize that our actions speak much louder than our words, and that our team members will flex as we flex. Consistency in messaging and consistency in our actions will breed confidence and help take our teams from a bunch of individuals and turn them into a high-performing group. Lead from the front and your team will follow. Until next time, lead passionately, lead confidently, and lead from the front.